Hi and welcome to Penser Bank. My name is Markus Almerud. I'm an analyst here at the bank. Today we're going to talk about Transtema. Transtema has had a rough ride at the stock market. So Transtema installs, maintains and services communication networks such as mobile and fixed phones as well as fiber networks. We have a fair value range of 38 to 40 Swedish krona and the share is at 14. So the investment case in short is that we see continuous growth in three dimensions: adjacent product groups, new customers and new geographies. The company has thus far delivered, and with the recent cost savings actions, we think that management has proven agile. Recent issues are temporary and they're isolated. We see limited risk to our 2024 estimates and we see valuation as highly attractive. So we're here today to talk about the recent issues, the earnings profile and valuation. Let's start with the recap of what's happened. So it's all started with one large telecom operator delaying 5G installation projects in March, and this made others follow. Transtema has one subsidiary which installs 5G network and was obviously hit by this. As a result, Transtema has adapted cost. They will save 60 million krona by halving staff in the subsidiary doing these installations. What's happened after that is we've seen guaranteed volumes from these telecom operators. We saw some incoming orders at the end of Q2, and the company has also signed a framework agreement with Telenor for 5G installations in Sweden. So Telenor together with Tele2 have very aggressive plans to do installations. Looking at the market, Europe is still far behind the US in 5G installations. So we see 13% 5G penetrations in Europe. We see 41% penetration in North America according to Ericsson. And do we need 5G? Well, what is it needed for? For instance, we need 5G for continuous automation, for Industry 4.0, the next industrialization, among others. Will this happen? We're convinced it will. Continuing with the earnings profile, we see our earnings as conservative. We see a delta of around 40 million krona in 2022 to 2024. Looking at the components and the bridge of these earnings, we see savings of 60 million, but we also see revenues growing. So revenues grew 27% in H1 of this year, and that should give some contribution. We have also seen some guaranteed 5G volumes, and we also had the Telenor framework with no guaranteed volumes, but it's still there. And it's worthwhile pointing out here that operations outside of 5G installations have margins in line with the target, that is around 7%. So what does this all mean? Well, the delta of 40 million, we talked about the bridge. Looking at estimates, they have come down, but the gap between earnings and share price is still very, very large. Looking at the PEs, the multiples are at all-time low and has been falling. And our interpretation of where the valuation is, that the market believes that earnings will halve. This is very unlikely. So in summary, Transtema has had issues, but they're temporary and they're isolated. Valuation in the market indicates that earnings will halve from current levels. This is very, very unlikely. So valuation is very attractive, cash flows is very attractive, and they will soon be back on track. Thank you for listening.